So how many of you here tuning into this video have ever planned to do a task in your online business? You go to sit down to do some work, you see a notification pop up on your phone, you pick your phone up, and before you know it, 45 minutes to an hour passed, and you got sucked into the vortex of your mobile device, and nothing is done, or the task that you had planned to do wasn't even touched in your business itself. I know this has happened to me many times before, and I'm sure it's happened to you guys as well. If so, let me know in the comments below, but up ahead in this video, what I want to do is help you break this addiction and share with you my top 5 iPhone productivity hacks for entrepreneurs. So believe it or not, everything about this device is built to be as addictive as possible. And although there's some many perks to having a mobile device, especially when it comes to running an online business and using that device to run your online business itself, you can very easily get caught in the trap of this addiction and not really realize the amount of time that you're losing each and every day and each and every week in your online business by being sucked into what is taking place on your phone itself. So as we get into today's topic around my top 5 iPhone productivity hacks for you as an entrepreneur, I know that for me as an entrepreneur, I value time now more than I ever have before in my entire life. And a lot of this comes with the growth of my online business. As I've taken my online business from 0 to my first 100K year, to my first multiple 6-figure year, and continued to grow since then, I've continued to realize the importance of not only just valuing your time, but protecting your time, and how easy it is for time to get taken from you without you even realizing it itself. And a lot of the time that gets taken from many entrepreneurs on a day-to-day basis comes from this device right here. So how can we limit that from happening? And how can we set up our phone in a way that helps us not feel like we constantly have to check it, get distracted by it, or get sucked into the vortex that it is built to be? So as I get into these 5 tips up ahead, hopefully by the end of this, a few of you watching will apply 1 to 2 of these in your personal life and ultimately regain a couple hours back in your week. I know that if I can help you do that, that's a win for me in this video. And I know that in the final tip that I share here in this video up ahead, it's going to be an app that I use that's literally saved me hours off of my week itself with this singular app. Now we'll get to that here in just a second. But the first tip that I have for you is notifications on your iPhone. Make sure that you have notifications turned off. So those of you watching may be saying, how can I turn off all the notifications on my phone? Although you don't have to turn all of them off, I'd encourage you to turn off as many as you literally possibly can, because this alone had a big shift on me and my online business early on. Because to be honest with you, as I was just getting started with my online business, focused on leveraging Facebook Messenger, with my notifications on, I would constantly be getting bombarded with messages coming in to my mobile off of Messenger. And if it was at a time where, even let's say in the evening as I'm trying to shut off, disconnect, and prepare to go to bed, if I saw those messages pop up on my phone, it immediately puts me into business mode and thinking about the conversation, business, etc. And it's just not a good habit to have. So eliminating notifications on your phone can take you from feeling like you need to immediately be pulled away and do something right at the spot. Because the reality is, most things can wait. And 99.9% of things do not have to be taken care of right as soon as they come in. Unless it's a traumatic emergency or somebody in your family needs your help for something very important and it's life-threatening. To be honest with you, there's no reason that you need to have notifications turned on to immediately respond as soon as that pop-up comes in. And even looking at this from the other point of view as well, is for those of you here that are already making sales, let's say using Stripe on your mobile device, the Stripe app, where you're processing payments. It may feel cool in the beginning to see $1,000 days come in, $2,000 days come in, $5,000 days come in. I loved that in the beginning, and seeing those notifications pop into my phone was a really cool feeling. But at the same time, it also programs you to constantly be looking out for those, checking your phone to see if notifications come in. And it really just creates a bad habit as a whole. So even with me seeing positive notifications come in, like money being deposited into my account, payments being made from clients, etc., I still decided to turn all of those off to eliminate the roller coaster of energy, of feeling really hyped up and excited when you see them come in, to maybe having a day where you don't see notifications come in and then you feel down, checking your phone, waiting to see if somebody made a payment. It's not a good habit to have, and the easiest way to eliminate it is by simply turning notifications off. Tip number 2 is going to be use focus modes on iPhone. iPhone just recently came out with these things called focus modes. And the nice thing about these focus modes in your phone is that if you toggle these on, it can also apply the same benefit that we just talked on, where it mutes notifications from coming in. So to share with you what this looks like here, you can see here as I pull down the notification center on my iPhone, I have these different modes. And if I select this, I'm going to see work, sleep, driving, fitness, personal, etc. Now, what you can do is set different modes preset for each focus mode itself. So if you're in sleep mode, or if you're in work mode, or in personal mode, you can set it to block certain apps during that time. So rather than even turning off all notifications, the second option you could do is just set your phone up for work mode where it blocks every single notification, every single call, etc. And then you can have this turned on each and every day so you don't have to worry about pop-ups, distractions, and notifications coming in. So to set this up, all you're gonna do is navigate to your settings on your iPhone. You go down, search within settings for focus, and then within here, you're gonna see all of these presets in place. So for each of these preset modes, sleep, personal, fitness, driving, etc., let's click on sleep here. And if you pick this, you can set so it turns on at a certain schedule each day. So you can say, I want this to turn on at 10 p.m. every night, 7 a.m. every morning, etc. And then from there, you can add filters to block out certain apps and filter notifications coming in. So highly encouraged to look into setting this up. This is a free app on iPhone itself. It's a new addition that they just made, and this is something that I like to have and utilize within my day-to-day to switch and toggle between modes, eliminate notifications, and eliminate distractions. Tip number 3 is going to be app limits and using app limits on iPhone. App limits is a really cool feature to use, and really what this allows you to do is to set limits for the apps that you are using. So like in the example we talked on earlier, let's say you go to sit down to write a new post and write some content for the day. You go and you see a notification pop on your phone, you pick up your phone, and you happen to go and pop into Facebook or to Instagram and you start scrolling, and again, before you know it, 5 minutes pass, 10 minutes pass, etc. What this app allows you to do is to block you at a certain limit. So once it hits 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or 15 minutes, it will pop up on your phone and it will tell you, hey, you've reached the limit with this app today on your device. Another reminder to you to say, hey, you know what? It's time to get off and stop wasting time here and focus on what matters most. So to turn on app limits, all you're gonna do is navigate to your settings, search in settings for app limits. You're gonna see this to click on and to toggle on and turn green here. We wanna make sure this is turned green and turned on. And you'll notice here within this, you can actually go down and click add a limit, and you can select the different categories and the different apps. If you wanted to add all of them, you can select them all at once. If you wanted to select certain ones, such as let's say Facebook here, whatever apps you want to select, you can manually select them. And then from there you hit next and you're able to just put down a time limit for each. And then once you hit set, for example here, this is allowing me 10 minutes a day on Facebook, for example. And I click add, and now that app limit is set. Now, as helpful as this is, and more importantly, just helping keep you aware when time is slipping away and when you are getting sucked into the vortex of social media, whatever it may be, one easy thing to do and get around this is you can easily just click, no, I don't want to have this app limit be in place right now, and bypass it. And you can bypass the app limit. So for those of you here that find themselves like easily tempted to break past, even when there's a reminder in front of you, I'm encouraging you to stick around in this video to the end as I reveal the final app, which eliminates this itself. But this is very helpful for those of you here looking for a free solution to keep yourself limited on the apps that you use and to be more conscious of ultimately how you're using those apps itself. Quick bonus tip on the topic of app limits. If you're unsure on which apps to block, for example, number 1, block them all. Number 2, look into your screen time on iPhone. When you leave app limits in that settings area, you're gonna go back from there and you'll see an area that shows screen time. It's gonna show you exactly how much time you spend on your iPhone every single day. And it's gonna give you a detailed breakdown of how much time you're putting towards each and every app. What I encourage you to do is look at those list of apps that you're using the most and make sure that you're setting limits around those apps. The 5th and final tip is going to be an app that actually is a paid app and not a free app. The first 4 tips I shared with you were all free things that you can do on your iPhone to help buy some time back right now. This is the paid app that really can pretty much do everything that I talked on in the previous 4 tips and more. And this is the app that has allowed me to buy back multiple hours each and every week in my life and ultimately broken me from this addiction of my mobile device. So the beautiful thing about this app, again, this app is called Opal. It's in the App Store. I believe it's on Google Play Store as well as iOS, but it's gonna give you a report each and every day in terms of your focus score. So as we open up this app called Opal here, you're gonna see here right away from the top, it's gonna give me a score for the day itself that I'm looking at for the performance from that day. So this gives you a daily score in terms of how much focus you had that day, depending on how much time you lost in your iPhone. So you can see here on this day list as I record this video, it shows a focus score of 9.5 out of 10. And you can see it shows some of the most recent or top apps used, Gmail, messages, and then I have Slack on here, all equating to 12 minutes, 13 minutes, and 14 minutes itself. And then it gives me a score that day and shows me that I got a 9.5 out of 10. It also shows me where the dips in my focus came in at. So you can see here, I got a little bit distracted in the morning, perhaps on Slack or one of these apps and spending some time on them. And this is where it's showing that dip within my focus itself. But what's really, really nice about this Opal app is if we go to actually here and start blocking session, we can start a manual blocking session itself. So let's say you're actually planning to go and write content for 45 minutes to an hour, and you have this time blocked out in your calendar to do work. You don't want to get distracted by your phone. You pull up your phone and you start this focus session here, and you can set it for 45 minutes, confirm. You can set all the apps being blocked. So I have preset categories set in place, which is essentially all of my apps. But you can set certain categories where if you want to have certain apps blocked during certain times, you can do that by creating groups. So I'm just going to select default here. And then you can select two types of focus, either normal or deep focus. Normal allows you to bypass this every minute. So you have to wait for a minute timer to come down and then hit bypass Opal, and it will let you actually go into your phone. Deep focus mode doesn't allow you to do anything. Once you lock it down in deep focus, you cannot access the other apps. So you'll see here, if I put it into deep focus mode and hit start session, if I were to come up on my home screen again and look at other apps on my screen, like Messenger here, if I go to click on this, I can't get into it. It's locked. And there's no bypassing it. I can't say ignore time limit. I can't work around it. Now that I've put it in deep focus mode, I am stuck not being able to jump into any of these apps, which is a blessing. The best thing about Opal, aside from being able to quickly start focus sessions and block out those apps, and even do the deep focus sessions where you can't get in apps, you can automate all of this in a schedule each and every day. So for me, what I did is I started and downloaded Opal after paying for the paid plan, which again, I think it's like $97 a year. Otherwise, they have a free trial to start. But to get the pro version and to get the paid plan, I paid the $97 a year. And one of the first things I did was set these deep focus modes actually for first thing in the morning and the first thing in the evening. And what this does is it makes it so whenever I wake up first thing, I am not prone to go and check social media, my email, etc. right away when I wake up. I actually can't check it for a set number of hours as soon as I wake up itself. This allows me to go get my workout done, do meditation, prepare for my day, and get into my day without having the option to do things with my time otherwise on my mobile device. Same when it comes to, let's say, work shutdown time. One of the biggest problems for me in growing my online business was being able to actually disconnect from the online business during times when I needed to disconnect and give my head and time some space. And it's very easy as we get into the evening nights, especially when you're working a side hustle in addition to your online business, to push and try to get in extra hours in that business itself. It gets to 9 p.m., 10 p.m., 11 p.m. The longer we're staying on this mobile device, looking at this blue light and being exposed to this, and being exposed to all these dopamine-driven apps, the more alert, awake that we'll be going to bed, and the worse sleep and sleep performance that we'll have going to sleep that night. I realized a lot of this by wearing my Oura Ring to track my sleep and see my sleep performance. But this Opal app helped tremendously with this because now I can set it actually on deep focus mode in the evening and make it so once it hits a certain time at the end of each night, I can't get into any apps. And in addition to that, with my home set up the way that I have it, with the lights that I have in my house and the smart lights that I have throughout, at 9:30 every single night in my house, all the lights flicker and they blink 4 to 5 times. I've had friends that have come over and said, Blake, why the hell do your lights blink at night? The reason I have my lights to blink at about 9:30 o'clock every single night is to trigger and remind me, hey, it's 9:30. It's time to disconnect. It's time to wind down. It's time to work into shutdown mode. This was all to help me create better habits in the evening, improve my sleep. Still a work in progress, still always looking to improve the performance of my sleep as a whole, to feel more rested and to get more done the next day. But this has been a massive help to me, not just in setting a trigger or an alarm at night to remind me, but making sure that this addictive device isn't pulling me in and sucking me down in the morning and in the evening as I start my day and end my day itself. So with those 5 tips to improve your productivity as an entrepreneur when it comes to using your iPhone and not getting sucked into the iPhone mobile device vortex and the addictive apps and notifications that come with it, hopefully this video is helpful to those of you here that are dealing with this problem in your own personal life and business. This is something that we always, to me, have to constantly be aware of and kind of temperature check to see, hey, how much are we using this device? How much time is going towards it? And again, the best place to begin when it comes to thinking about, hey, what can I integrate from this video today to improve my performance in business and life? Start by looking at the screen time on your iPhone. See how much time you're putting into these mobile apps every single day. See how much time you're losing in these every single day, and make a change starting today after you watch this video to improve that going forward. With all that said, if you got value from this one, be sure to smash the thumbs up button and drop a comment if you have any questions or feedback on what you had watched here in this video today. And for those of you here that are looking for more of an advanced insider training on how I go about managing my entire workflow system, I encourage you to check out my 6-figure workflow masterclass in the description below. This breaks down the exact workflow system that I use to go from being in a side hustle and only having 2 hours a day to build my online business, to taking my business from 0 to my first 6-figure year, and how I manage my time to make that possible. So link in the description below on that. And with that said, I will see you on the next video. Thanks for watching. Peace.